Informals ready for presentation.
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Sushma, what about you? You will not be able to open the camera?
Yeah, I'm just opening, ma'am. Just one sec.
Sure. Any news about Suman? She'll be joining or not?
Ma'am, I have no idea about her.
Anchit, can you quickly check in the group or maybe just check
Yes,
with
ma'am, I
her
will
if she's
check.
joining? Yeah.
Check.
Whether he informed she's not joining. No information from Suman. Great. So this particular presentation and the topic will really prepare you for the final evaluation as well. And that is the reason why I wanted you. So because when we'll call for external examiner, he will surely look into this. That whether you're wearing formal, how clear your speech is. It doesn't matter whether you explain things in English or mix Hindi. That's really not a problem because generally corporates में भी ऐसा हो जाता है बहुत सारे लोगों के साथ, right? So it's always good, but the idea of these presentations is that you're able to showcase the content that you're using and how you're presenting it. It should reach the audience, it should touch them, they should be able to understand the topic completely well. That's the whole point of doing these presentations, right? Shall we start it? Who wants to start?
Ma'am, I can start first.
Sure, you can start, Sushma, then.
Ma'am, is my screen visible?
Not yet. Yeah, now it is.
Ma'am, shall I start?
Yes, please.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Archana ma'am for providing me this opportunity presenting this topic. So today's topic is about the case study XYZ Corporations Training and Development Program. So under the case study, we had topics. The first topic is assessment. So assessing the training needs are the first and important factor under training and development. So to assess the training and development needs of its employees, XYZ Corporation can use training need analysis. Training need analysis is a questionnaire where data has been collected from various forms to actually deeply understand what is needed for training, where the employee is lacking and what is required for according to our objectives. So a TNA is a systematic process that identifies the gap between the current and desired employee performance levels and determine the training required to bridge this gap. So the following methods can be used to conduct an effective TNA. So questionnaires, there can be a set of questions that can be used to gather the information about the training need of employees. It is a very effective method for collecting data from a large number of employees. Next is observation. Observation is watching employees perform their task and identifying where they lack in their skills. So where they require training, you can easily identify here. And this is also really very effective method for identifying practical needs. Then interviews are one-on-one conversation between employees and management. This is an effective method for assessing individual training needs. So next is assessment and reviews. Assessment and reviews involve evaluating employee performance to identify areas where they require training. So if you need to identify specific where they lack in specific skills, you can use the assessment and reviews technique.
We can only see your first slide, Sushma. You want to, I mean, are you showing your first slide or are you on the next slide?
Now change this topic, ma'am.
Yeah. We can just see your first slide right now. Which is a topic title.
Okay, I had changed it, but I don't know why.
Yeah, I could guess it.
Is it not visible now also?
No. Anjan, you can see? Or you
No,
can
ma'am.
also see the.
Ma'am, I can also see first slide also.
Yeah, I think the slide is frozen. Maybe you can just
Reshare?
remove it, and then reshare it. Sometimes it happens. Yes, now we can see your second slide. Good.
Ma'am, I will change to the next slide. Can you
It
just
is
tell me?
at assessment.
Yeah. Assessment. So I explained about this. Should I explain again?
Yeah, you've done that. I could guess it. Maybe we can move to the next one.
Okay. Next is challenges and performance gaps in training development. So what actual challenges are faced by the corporation and what are the performance gaps has to be analyzed before developing a training program. So what all factors can be considered under this is decline in product quality. The company has experienced a decline in product quality over a few years. Past few years. This could be due to lack of training or outdated training methods. A comprehensive training development program can help employees stay up to date with latest industry trends and best practices, which can improve their product quality. So, according to the data from past few years, the product quality has decreased. So, by this factor, we can analyze why it has decreased and what can be done to add to the training program. What factors can be included to add to the training program? Next is decreased employee morale. Decreased employee morale can lead to lower productivity, increased absenteeism, that is attendance rate, and higher turnover rates. So a comprehensive training and development program can help employees feel valued and invested in, which can improve their morale. Next is higher turnover rate. So higher turnover rate can be costly for the company in terms of recruitment, hiring and training costs. A comprehensive training and development program can help employees feel more engaged and invested in their work, which can reduce the turnover rate. And TNA, as discussed in first slide, it can be identified to specify specific areas where employees require training. Once the TNA is complete, the corporation can develop a comprehensive training and development program that addresses the identified needs of it. Next topic is training objectives. So main objectives, we have to set our main objectives of training so that we have a clear view that after training the employees, what results we are expecting and what is the ROI we are expecting. So the factors considered under training objectives are increased productivity. So main and most important objective of the training should be increasing the productivity of the employees. So keeping this in factor, we will be developing a training program. So a comprehensive training and development program can help employees stay up to date with the latest industry trends and best practices. Next is improve quality. Now the main era where we are living is everyone wish to have a quality of product. So whatever you're investing now in training, it should help in improve the quality as well. So improving the quality of the product is obviously one of the main objectives of training and development, since it's not like those times when customers weren't such quality conscious. Now they mainly prefer quality, and if they don't find the quality satisfactory, they may leave the company behind without even thinking second time. So next is reduce learning time. So keeping an eye on learning capabilities of employees is also really very important. So we have to observe how quickly an employee adapt to the new techniques of production and how they will be able to improve their productivity by this. So reducing learning time also should be one of the main objectives. Next is ensure safety. Safety should be a top priority of any organization. A comprehensive training and program training and development program can help employee understand safety protocols and procedures, which can reduce accidents and injuries in the workplace. Reduce labor turnover. A high labor turnover really can cost an organization. So we have to design a training program which will help in reduce labor turnover. Keep up with the technologies. In today's fast-paced business environment, it is essential to keep up with the technology advancement. So staying up to date with the present technology is really required for an organization to be productive as enough. Next is effective management. Effective management is crucial for any organization's success. So a comprehensive training should help managers develop their leadership skills, communicational skills, and other essential skills required for the effective management. Next is aligning training and development objectives with business goals and strategies. So how we are going to align this objectives with business goals are really very important. So what factors can be considered here is, first one is defining the future. So the company should define its vision, mission, and goals that make the future of the business an exciting one. This will help the training and development objectives that align with company's overall goals, business goals, and strategies. Then find the gaps. The company should evaluate its employees' performance against their business goals to identify any skills gap. This process is often referred to as training need analysis, and that is the first step which will be conducted to analyze the performance gaps. Then set strategic training and development objectives. Based on the results of the TNA, the corporation can set strategic training and development objectives that aligns with its overall business goals and strategies. Then communicate training purpose and objectives. So once you develop a training program, you have to communicate the purpose and objectives to the employees so that they understand better and perform. They take up the training and improve their productivity, and which overall improves the company's productivity. So the company should communicate the purpose and objective of the training program to its employees. This will help employees understand how their training aligns to the business goals and strategies. Next is deliver perfect training. The company should develop a comprehensive training and development program that addresses the identified needs of employees. So as per the TNA, what they have collected the data, they have to design a perfect training program which will help in their needs, actual needs, which will help in filling the performance gap and which will help in increasing their productivity. Then support continuous learning in the workspace. Continuous learning is essential for employees to stay up to date with latest industry trends and best practices. Continuous learning is a process where employee will continuously be learning in his workplace every day. So there are new things every day to be adapted for him, and he has to adapt, and we have to support and encourage continuous learning. Next is measure and repeat. So the company should measure the effectiveness of its training and development program regularly. This will help identify areas where improvements can be made and ensure that program continues to align its overall development and strategies. Next is training methods. So based on TNA and based on the research made, we have to analyze and understand what training methods we can adapt here. So first factor which we can see is on the job training. So on the job training involves learning by doing. So it's an effective method for teaching practical skills and procedures. Next is classroom training. So classroom training involves learning in a traditional classroom setting. It is an effective method for teaching theoretical concepts and principles. Computer-based training. Computer-based training involves using computer software to deliver training content. It is an effective method for teaching technical skills and procedure. Simulation-based training. Simulation-based training involves using simulations to teach practical skills and procedures. So it is an effective method for teaching complex and dangerous procedures. It is actually something related to virtual reality. So they have that experience by using virtual reality. They will have that experience of how they can work using the new technology. So that virtual reality will give that experience for them. So how they will be able to work in future. Next is mentoring and coaching. Mentoring and coaching involves pairing employees with experienced colleagues who can provide guidance and support. It is an effective method for teaching practical skills, procedures, as well as developing leadership skills. So once an employee comes under a well-experienced colleague, he'll be able to learn a lot more things because the experienced colleague will share actual work experience with him and give suggestions where he can improve himself. So web-based training involves using internet to deliver training content. It is an effective method for delivering training to geographically dispersed employees. So when there are remote workers, they can use this web-based training to provide them training. Then mobile learning. Mobile learning involves using mobile devices such as smartphones and tablets to deliver training content. It is an effective method for delivering training employees who are always on the move. So nowadays the smartphones are able to adapt any type of applications which will enhance their learning. So who are not able to set for hours for the training sessions, they'll be able to learn through the mobile. Then blended learning involves combining multiple training methods to create a comprehensive training. So all employees won't be able to catch the same training method. Some will be lacking in few skills and some others in rest other skills. So this blended training will help uh, address the specific needs of the employees. It's an effective method for delivering customized training programs that meet unique requirements of each employee. Next is training content. So the main, after all the research, how we design the training content is really very important factor in whole training process. So these are the factors which we can consider under training content. First one is quality control. So quality control is a process that ensures that the product meets the required quality standards. Employees should be trained on how to identify defects, measure quality, and implement corrective actions. Next is product design. Product design is the process of creating new products or improving the existing one. Employees should be trained on how to design products that meet customer needs and expectations. Then process improvement. Process improvement is the process of identifying and eliminating waste of the production process. So employees should be trained how to reduce the waste in the production process as well as improve their time. So within less time, how productive and how many pieces they can produce. So that also can be improved here. Then customer service. Customer service is the process of providing support to customers before, during, and after a purchase. So employees should be trained on how to provide excellent customer service, handle complaints, and resolve issues. Next one is teamwork. Teamwork is the process of working collaboratively with others to achieve a common goal. Employees should be trained on how to work effectively in teams, communicate effectively, and resolve conflicts. Next is continuous improvement. Continuous improvement is a process of continually improving products and services process. Employees should be trained on how to identify areas for improvement, implement changes, and measure results. Safety is a top priority for any organization. Employees should be trained on how to work safely, follow safety protocols and procedures, and report safety incidents. Next point is measuring training effectiveness. So after providing the training, we have to measure at regular intervals about the training effectiveness. So these are the factors which can be considered for measuring the training effectiveness. Training attendance rate. So this KPI measures the percentage of employees who attend training sessions. It can help the corporation determine if its training program is engaged and relevant to employees. Course completion rate. So this KPI measures the percentage of employees who complete the training course. It helps the corporation determine if training program is effective in teaching employees the necessary skills and knowledge. Average time to completion. So this KPI measures the average time it takes for an employee to complete the training course. It can help the corporation determine if the training program is efficient and effective. Post-training assessment results. So regular assessment results are required after training to check whether the actual skills taught in the training are implemented on the work. So this KPI measures the results of assessment conducted after the training course. It can help the corporation determine if its training program is effective in teaching employees the necessary skills and knowledge. Then learner satisfaction rate. This KPI is measured employee satisfaction rate with training program. So once they have passed the training, we can conduct a questionnaire or a quiz where we can analyze their satisfaction rate at learning process. Next is learner retention rate. So this KPI measures employee retention after complete the training course. So once they have completed the training, we can measure how long they are staying in the corporation and how long they'll be working with this. Then job performance and impact. This KPI measures the impact of training program on employees' job performance. So using this KPI, we can analyze whether the employee is able to really put his skills, which he has learned in training, to the actual job and increase his productivity. Next topic is employee development. So now this main objective of the training is developing employee in his skills and practical knowledge. So how we assess the employee development is important point. So assess employee needs. So conduct a training need analysis to identify what specific training needs of employees is required. Then develop a comprehensive training program. So based on the TNA what we have collected, we have to develop a comprehensive training program which will actually satisfy all their required needs and fill the performance gaps. Use a variety of training methods as discussed before. So we can use all types of training methods to actually implement and improve the skills of all departments, which will help in overall development of the company. Next is communicate the purpose and objectives of training. Next step is we have to communicate the purpose why we are conducting this training to the employees, so that they understand that they what actually the corporation needs and why they are required to get updated. And provide opportunities for continuous learning. Continuous learning is a very important factor, and this will help in overall employee development. Measure the effectiveness of training at regular intervals. The measurement of effectiveness of training is required. Next is cost and ROI analysis. ROI is return on investment. So once we have invested a cost in training and development program, we have to even calculate what is the return on investment. So this topic and these factors help in analysis of that. First factor is training materials and equipment. This includes the cost of developing training materials such as manuals, handouts, presentation, as well as the cost of equipment such as computers, projectors, and other hardware. Trainer cost. This includes the cost of hiring trainers or consultants to deliver the training program. It also includes the cost of paying internal staff to develop and deliver the training program. Travel and accommodation. This includes the cost of travel and accommodation for trainers or employees attending off-site training sessions. Facilities. This includes cost of renting or leasing facilities for training sessions. Employee time. This includes the cost of employee time spent attending the training sessions. It also includes the cost of employee time spent preparing for and following up on the training session. Opportunity cost. This includes the cost of loss of productivity due to employee attending training sessions. It also includes the cost of lost revenue due to reduced production during training sessions. Next point is evaluation cost. This includes the cost of evaluating the effectiveness of training program. It also includes the cost of making improvements to the training program and achieving the results. Next point is about measurement of ROI. So main factors conducting over here is we have to define our objectives. Only once we are clear about our objectives, we will be able to measure the ROI effectively. So first point is we have to define the objectives of training program in terms of improved quality and reduced turnover, labor turnover. This will help identify the specific outcomes that needs to be measured. First step is collect data. Collect data on the cost of implementing and training program as well as data on improvements in product quality and reduction in turnover rates. Calculate ROI. How do we calculate ROI? Is by this formula: gains from the investment minus cost of investment divided by cost of investment. So the percentage what we have got is return on investment. Then the gains from investment can be calculated by subtracting the cost of investment from the total benefits gained from the training program. The cost of investment includes all the costs associated with implementing and delivering the training program. Measuring intangible benefits. In addition to measuring tangible benefits such as improved productivity and reduced turnover rates, the corporation should also measure intangible benefits such as increased morale, employee morale, and engagement. These benefits can be difficult to quantify but are still important to consider when calculating ROI. And last topic of our presentation is overcoming resistance. So once an corporation decides to conduct a training program, there might be resistance from the employees and given many reasons for not attending the training. So what factors and what steps we can inculcate for reducing this, for overcoming this resistance? First one is communicate the benefits. The benefits of the training program to the employees should be communicated to them effectively, make them understand what are the benefits and how they will improve their skills. Then involve the employee in the process. So you have to involve the employee in the process of designing and delivering the training program. So actually they understand where they are in lacking and what needs to be improved. Next is provide incentives. So if we can provide incentives to employees who participate in training programs to encourage other employees to join this training, such as bonuses or maybe a certificate of participation can be given. So these will help them get involved in training activities. Make it relevant. So ensure that the training program is relevant to the employee's job roles and responsibilities. This will help employees see the value of the training program and be more likely to participate. So according to the employee's job role, the training program should be designed so that it will really personally help them improve their skills as well. Then provide support. Provide support to employees who are struggling with training programs. So not all employees catch up to training content or the teaching method very soon. So who are lacking behind, we have to provide them extra support so that they will be able to include and learn well and perform well. So this could include additional coaching, mentoring, or other forms of support. Then address concerns. So whoever is resisting from joining the training program, we have to address what concerns they are actually facing. Address any concerns that employees may have about the training. It can be including about the commitment, workload, or they may feel it as a burden because they have to work in the company as well as get trained. So we have to address what concerns they're facing for resisting the training program. So this is the end. I think I've covered all the topics which were asked. So can I stop? Yeah.
Good. Good presentation. And I think you've covered almost all the things that was there in the case study asked for. The only two observations for now, maybe for the improvement in the future. One is because the case study format was in question answer format, right? It would have been good that you have mentioned the questions and then given the answers in that format, right? Second is maybe using more examples from the industry. See, your research will show in a presentation when you are showing some industry related examples, right? So for example, training year identification. So how training year identification is done in, say, Tata Group. There are a lot of examples now available on internet easily. So that will show your result and what actually you have given time to research the topic. Just one-liner examples, like I keep giving you that this is what we did, this is how things happen. See, examples relate well with us because when we are in learning mode, examples brings us the more value in terms of it's like very similar to simulation exercises. Right? So we have to just incorporate that. Rest everything is very well captured. Good job.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Anjan, your turn.
Yes, ma'am.
And good time taken is also good. Half an hour. Sorry.
So my slide is visible, ma'am.
Yes, very much. Please start.
Yes, ma'am. So thank you, ma'am, for giving me this a wonderful opportunity to present me on this topic of training and development program of XYZ manufacturing industry. So the first question is about what methods can XYZ corporation uses excessive training and development needs effectively. So there are various methods for training need analysis. We can do training need analysis. So there are various methods. So the first is questionnaire, second is observation, third is interviews, fourth is examine employees' work, and fifth is assessment and reviews. So the levels of training needs.
There are 88 slides in the presentation.
यस मैम, मैम वास्ट रिसर्च करा है मैम 2 days से इसके ऊपर.
Okay, good.
इसमें एग्जांपल्स वगैरह प्लॉट करने थे, मैंने काफी दिए भी हैं इनके ऊपर.
Very nice. Okay, cool.
So the levels of training needs analysis, understand the training requirements of employees can be handled by three-tiered approach of TNA. So if we analyze the employee, so there are three methods. One is operation task analysis, second is organization analysis, and third is individual, that is person analysis. So for points they cover about, I am covering about accesses the businesses. So identifying the business mission, goals regarding employee development, and what support senior management and managers will offer regarding training. Find out what resources are available for training and if they are sufficient for the projected development goals. So ma'am, first we have to know about, when we give training, so we have to put things in the mind, what are the business missions and goals regarding the employee development. So which we can align for to the individual goals, so he or she can reach to the achieve the organization vision and mission, and to regarding when he or she perform his production. So second point is accesses operations and tasks. So identify in operational what skills are necessary to perform each task, and then compare if they are existing skills and knowledge of the staff. This analysis will help the potential skill gaps. You could set up assessment center, run test, and observe team carrying tasks, determine the level of current skills and knowledge. So compare to what is ideally required to perform these tasks. And then third point is assesses the individual. So identifying the training needs of each employee by analyzing performance reviews and appraisals. It would also beneficial find out from each employee what challenges affect their day-to-day life in their tasks. Some questions. So ma'am, basic thing is when we assesses the individual person in the organization, so we will analyze the performance reviews, what challenges they are facing during the time of production. So some few questions in this accesses the individual. What mistakes does your team make on regular basis? Second point is what actions would you take to see your team but don't? When you take about employees performing their jobs optimally, and what do you think prevent your team from performing a certain task to high standards? What is one thing you would change? How is your team carries out their task? What task would you like to see your team trained on? What would you like to be trained on? What new technology would help you and your team to carry out your task? What new technology would like to see invented to help your work? Why? So ma'am, these are the methods we can assess the individuals for the future. So ma'am, these are two findings should emerge from this analysis. So present training needs. The training need analysis will highlight where training is needed most and what skills and knowledges are required and who needs to be trained. So what are the present training needs? What are the current market scenarios in the market? So what are the knowledge is required and what are the skills we are giving to their employees, and who is required for that training. So, and the second point is future training needs. What should also emerge the potential impact that changes in technologies in future, what type of technologies will come in the market, what are the business development legislation, and what are the companies growth in the future will have on the organization future training needs. So ma'am, how to identify train skills of the future? So ma'am, I can take the example of a, according to the chairman and CEO of the Accenture, name is Pyri Netrmi. Digital innovations are changing the demands for skills in the future, and businesses worldwide are facing a skills crisis that would delay the economic promises of technological development. So these are the words of the chairman and CEO of the Accenture. Ordinary changes to our skill development program will not be enough to meet the rising future skill requirements. So we have to update our skills day-to-day basis, and we have to keep the things in the mind in the future, what are the new technologies come in the market. So ma'am, however, there are ways to prepare future skills required in your company. Build with who you have. The employees you have right now are the best sources for your company. As for meeting your growth needs, it is more cost effective to retain the people who already know your business, know your core values and your customers, rather than invest in their training to close upcoming skill gaps. So ma'am, first we have to think about their employees, because the major thing is for an HR, for me to retain the employees for the organization for a future, for a longer period, and for the future also, because they are the most important elements for my organization. They can reach my organization and achieve my organization vision, mission, and goals also. So these what are the, because they know about my customer core values of our customers and our business requirements also. So we have to invest on these trainings for our employees also. So ma'am, invest in the future talent pools now. So ma'am, invest in future pools now. We will meet the local educators, colleges, universities, and high schools, and offer on-campus awareness and recruiting programs, internship awareness, and workforce readiness programs. For the those who are like internship program for the university students, what are the industries working on, networking with educators to discuss the skill business require and how educational can help the bridge the gap. So these are the educators, network with the educators can help us to fix the knowledge gap. So they are the bridge between the organizations. Identifying the important training and development requirements of your employees is the main first step. What training we want to give, it is the first step to our employees. An ongoing commitment to the training and development of your employees will ensure the business is better position. So ma'am, if we give a proper training to the employees regard and about the future technologies and many more things, whatever is required, so it can help the business in this streamlined way. And ma'am, and the second is about what specific challenges or performance gap should XYZ corporation aim to address through training and development. To stay ahead of the curve, the company places strong emphasis. The HR department collaborates. Man, basically the HR department can collaborate with the department heads like operation head and IT head and subject matter experts to identifying the training needs. So what are the training needs? And they can design programs and align the strategic goals of the company with that training also. Thus, case study also highlight the following objectives of XYZ training and development initiatives, ma'am. So enhancing technical skills. So ma'am, technical XYZ corporations offer a range of technical training programs to help employees stay up to date in the market with the latest technologies and industry trends. These programs focus on areas such as software development, data analysis, cyber security, and artificial intelligence. So, ma'am, the second point is leadership development. The companies recognize the importance of cultivating influential leaders. It offers leadership development program to identify and groom high potential employees for leadership positions. These programs focus on skills such as communication, decision making, and strategic thinking. And third point is soft skills development. In addition to technical and leadership skills, XYZ Corporations believes in nurturing employees' soft skill. It offers training in such as communication, teamwork, problem solving, and time management to improve overall effectiveness and productivity. So how we can affect our product. So how we can manage our production, how we can communicate with our team, how we can solve the problems, and we can do time management. So that comes under the main soft skill development. Based on this information, it seems XYZ is already addressing some of the challenges performing and through its training and development. So, ma'am, it is difficult to say without more context that there are many specific challenges or performance gap that need to be addressed through these programs. So, what challenges we are facing, we can address through these programs, and we can give it to our employees and their leaders also. And ma'am, what should be, training objectives, ma'am? What should be the primary objectives of XYZ Corporation's training and development? So, ma'am, there are 7 main objectives of training developments are 7 main objectives of T&D. First is increased productivity. Second is quality improvement. Third is learning time reduction. Fourth is safety first. Fifth is labor turnover reduction, keeping yourself updated with technology. And seventh is effective management. So, ma'am, increased productivity. So, ma'am, for any company, production is the most important thing. So we can focus on customers or for business. So we can tackle the immensely growing competition, target market, increase the productivity, reducing the cost of production. So production is our main aspect. So training takes current capabilities, workers on brand, polishes to make them learn and devise new and effective methods, doing the same thing in a repeated manner. In other words, the training done in a proper way can give a business whole new look. If we can give a proper training to the employee, so it gives a new look, and production will be also very good. So they can learn more, and this can also improve the production of the employees and the organization. Quality improvement, ma'am. Improving the quality of the product is obviously one of the main objective of training and development. So since it is look, those customers were not such quality conscious. So companies also know about what are the taste and preferences of the customers, but we can provide better services to their customers. So so they can have to maintain that quality standards for that employees, what they are expecting. If we are not delivering a quality product service to so we can lose our customers also. So this thing we have to know, company cannot compromise with their quality. So, ma'am, just think, if you and your competitor competing for the same services, if we have a same competitor in the market, so we have to maintain the quality with the competitor, but we can give best quality to the customers, because and what technologies we can use. If we can degrade the quality with our customer, with our competitor, and customer can move to the our competitor, so it can affect our business also. Learning time reduction, ma'am. Keep an eye on learning capabilities. So we have to keep an eye on the learning capabilities of the employee, which is highly beneficial for our employees in the longer run, ma'am. So it determines how quickly employee grabs. The basic thing is how the employee can grab their training and discovered fact and shape the future product on this discovery. The weaker the capability and harder it is to learn. But the scenario can be supported the usage of proper learning material and experienced instructors who prefer real life experience than cramming. So we can hire that proper instructors and proper peoples who can give them a proper knowledge about the products to the employees. So which can give beneficial to the organization. So reducing the learning time is also one of the main objective of. So time reducing is, if we can reduce the time, so it can also beneficial for training and development. So we have to keep the thing in mind that the time is also the major important thing. We cannot think that human is a machine. So we have to analyze the mind capabilities of the human. So how much he or she can grab at the time of training. So ma'am, fifth point is safety first. So ma'am, safety is the almost be the first concern of our organization. He is a worker or an officer or a customer. So we cannot take them lightly, or we cannot take them very grantedly, where one knows even minute mistake and can lead to a life threat. If the one single mistake, we can lose our customer or our employee also. So therefore, providing the knowledge for using the equipment in a proper way. So life-friendly products also belongs to the one major objectives of training and development. The higher the employees are better at handling equipment, the better is both for the company and the workers. So ma'am, labor turnover reduction. So ma'am, no business can flourish with it regular turning over. Its workforce, since it is obvious to every new workforce will require. So we have to, on the contrary, training ensures that company does not need turnover its workforce again and again, because it prepares the employees to face any situation, which proves helpful in bringing in the feeling of workers. Therefore, the workforce feels safe and secure at a particular job. So keep oneself updated with the technology. So ma'am, in the today's eras of mobile phones are the miracles for our employees and in today's world. So newer technologies are rolling out and continues. So we can also take the exam. So we can give a proper training to regarding the updated technology to the employees. So which can beneficial for our future also. So when we can take the example of spraying of pesticides and herbicides to keep the crop healthy. So there are some farmers who are not know. So we can give a proper give the product knowledge about how we can use that machine to use that pesticides machine, and what time we can use and how many days we can use this pesticides. And about is effective management. So management is a very important role. So so one of the primary objective of training development process is give rise to new improved management, which is capable of handling and planning and control without any serious problem. With the knowledge and experience gathered out through training, acting and guiding light newly shaped management, it's lets them handle through tough decisions, confusing realities, so bigger better opportunities with the brand. So मैम, ये तो मैम काफी वास्ट है मैम, इस पे मैं वास्ट टॉपिक्स में जा सकता हूँ मैम काफी इसके अंदर, क्योंकि मैम 88 स्लाइड्स हैं पूरा दिन लग जाएगा इसमें.
जितना कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव कर सकते हैं, मतलब द टॉपिक शुड बी कवर्ड, डोंट गो इनटू द डिटेल्स मच.
Yes ma'am. So ma'am, मैंने manufacture. So ma'am, what training methods and techniques is suitable for XYZ corporation? Give its manufacturing industry context. So ma'am, there are 6 effective methods. So first is design, second is develop, third is deliver, fourth is evaluate, fifth is document, and sixth is continuous improvement. So ma'am, what we want to tell about manufacturing first, the image above represents that it is a never-ending cycle, and that is true of manufacturing training program. You will never really be done. Second, the phase of at the end of the cycle, before you go back to design, is continuous improvement. So you will never be done with manufacturing training programs. You can always keep the program better. So ma'am, first thing is about designing manufacturing training programs. So ma'am, first we have to do performing a training need analysis. What are the training perform? Identifying and measuring the business goals. What are the business goals? Completing a task analysis, creating the learning objectives, performing a learner analysis, and what are the additional things we can consider during the step 1 training phase. So, ma'am, in training need analysis, there are 2 points. First, determine the problem what we are trying to solve. So, do employees know perform the specific job task? And the second is to determine the ranging is the right solution. Sometimes you will find the training is appropriate, but in other case, you will find the other solutions would be more appropriate. So if training is not in right solution, do whatever, stop the training is the process. If the training is not on the right track. So if training is the right solution, so we have to keep going. So ma'am, identify the business goals. Ma'am, so first thing is that when we design the training, we have to keep the things in our mind that what are our business goals, what are our vision and missions, then we will design the training. So what are the so ma'am, but if you wait until the training complete?
Go ahead. I'm here only.
Ma'am,
Just
yes.
a technical glitch. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, determine the business goal. Training is intended to improve. Determine what are the key performance indicators in the business goals. Record that business metrics and schedule for continually monitoring and documenting that metrics. Once that training has been complete, you can compare the previous metrics with the current metrics and look for a trend. Hopefully, it is a positive trend. Remember that simply saying that training is complete or that worker passed a test or that worker spent a certain amount of time in training is never enough to justify what the value of a training. So, ma'am, task analysis. In some cases, training may be focused on creating awareness or teaching knowledge to employees. Maybe it is a new company policy, so that will be task analysis. In other cases, through the training will be intent to help workers. So, ma'am, training in task analysis, it will help us to develop a new skills and complete a specific task on the job for the employees. In those cases, you will break down into a series of a smaller steps. So, ma'am, in this task analysis, we can make the training in a smaller steps. They will help you to prepare to teach steps to procedure of workers. So this process is also known as task analysis. Ma'am, learning objective. So ma'am, learning objective is something what's the employee want to learn with us, what we employees able to want to do when the training is over. So it is the entire reason for holding the training. It is what you want to help workers learn to do so they can do it on the job and the business can therefore meet its business goal or not. So in learning objectives, once you have created learning objective, they should function as a roadmap for the rest of your training. Once the learning objectives should be created, you should create training content to help workers satisfy those learning objectives. You should notify workers that training is intended to help them perform those learning objectives. Create assessments if workers can perform those learning objectives. Observe on the job behaviors and training to see workers performing those behaviors and their skills also, ma'am. Ma'am, learner analysis. So it's your training should also be a learner centric. It means you put the employees and their learning needs first and the top of your list and create a training to match their learning needs. As a result, you will need to learn much about learners, the employees you will be training before you can create the training. There are many ways to do so. Maybe the best way is to talk or ask them the questions. In addition, throughout the might try having some complete surveys like questionnaires, observing them while they are on the job and getting information about them from their supervisor or HR. Their current ability to perform tasks and satisfy your learning objective, their reading level and capabilities, their ages, cultural group of ethnicity, gender, and physical handicaps, learning preferences, one-on-one training, instructor-led classroom style, group collaboration, written, self-guided online learning, etc. So, ma'am, delivery method of manufacturing training. So, ma'am, you can deliver training in different methods. So, training delivery methods can be written training materials, video-based training materials, webinars, one-on-one training, instructor-led training with a group in a class, mentoring, shadowing, following programs on the job, online training materials, and many more things for the training, ma'am. Ma'am, partnering with training providers. At some point, you will want to think how much training you want to create yourself. So how much you want to create their professional manufacturing training providers, buying off their self manufacturing training materials. So ma'am, created for the company. So we can partnering the outsider peoples or trainers to provide give training, because sometime internal peoples don't have that, internal trainers don't have that knowledge, so we have to hire that outsiders trainers. Other things to consider when designing manufacturing programs: availability of classroom space, ma'am, ability to deliver a complete training online, mobile device capabilities, similar logistical challenges. The stuff may not seem exciting, but it is important. For example, if you create an award-winning mobile responsive online training program and your workers have no mobile devices. Step 2 is, ma'am, developing manufacturing training program. Once you complete the design step, it's time to roll out our sleeves and develop the training program. So this means no matter what delivery method you are using, online training, written video, written PowerPoint presentation, instructor-led training, etc. So using credible sources of information. So ma'am, credible sources will make sure information you are, what content you are using, it should be credible source for the employees. You are probably already aware, but you should include in. So what I should also aware about this, aware about that product, what training I want to give on this somewhere, because you read on the internet. Instead, make sure that you are getting your information from credible sources for operations, job task training, consult manufacturers, in-house subject matter experts or engineers, supervisors, managers, and employees. So, ma'am, for manufacturing safety training, check regulatory agencies such as OSHA, organizations such as Chemical Safety Board, and professional safety organizations such as ASSE, NSC. For HR or other compliance-based training, check regulatory agencies. You may also want to consider partnering with training providers, experience knowledge, your manufacturing training, manufacturing safety training. So, ma'am, we have to consider that hire the outside trainer also who are experienced in that things. Match your training with learning objectives. So, ma'am, we have to match the training with what are our objectives. So, what we are, so, and we already mentioned the importance of creating learning objectives and explained what they are. And we explained that the learning object should act as a guide for your training. So, ma'am, the learning objective should act as a guide in our training. Your training content should fully teach the learning objectives and teach nothing else. So, our content will also teach the objective. Why should we learn this? What is the main purpose of this learning program? Remember this when you are creating your training material. Once you have review them again and check and see it, you got the right or not.
You can skip some points in between. Just make us understand what does it mean.
Yes, ma'am.
Otherwise, it will take a lot of time for you.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, make use of adult learning principles. We can also know there are adult peoples into the organization. So we have to design training according to their mindset. So, it should be self-directed training, and we have to use images and many more things so that the adult learners can also learn that training. So, and the training is also relevant for them. So learn better, and we can, if they learn better, they are motivated to learn. Make your training human centered and learner centered. But ma'am, the thing is about what we are creating, what learner centered and human centered. So we humans can relate to this, the training. So as a training designer, so we have to supposed to learn the training who will need to change or improve the job performance once the training is over. Focus on training content, and perhaps training can lead to training less effective, not more. There are many ways to do this. Good solid learner analysis is a way to a good start. Keep your training short, ma'am. So we can also our training should also be short. So, and we can also keep information in a working memory, it for a very short period of about 15 minutes. So we can think about the humans, how they can store the information in their brain. We can also break their training into a chunks parts, so it is easy to learn for them. Chunks your manufacturing. To chunk means to break the training materials into shorter, organized parts, put them in a logical order. Chunking help people to learn more. It is a good way to avoid overloading them and much more information in one time. So this article is also telling about chunking training. Language issue. So ma'am, sometimes it is also a language issue. So there are many people in the organizations who don't know, some people don't understand English. So we can also create a video. If you see the example of YouTube also. So there is also, if you don't understand English, so there is subtitles going in Hindi. So it is an easy way to understand what is going on and what type of. So what is their reading? So what languages do they speak? So we have to understand it, and when they hear it, what languages can they read? What is their reading level? Do they have reading disability such as dyslexia? How do they speak amongst themselves? So ma'am, it is in many ways, in addition to speaking correct language, it is also important to speak in casual way. To understand controversial tone is the appropriate for the workers. So overly formal language, academic language, long complex sentence. So we have to avoid these things. Overly formal language, academic language, long complex sentences, big words, jargon, acronyms, and abbreviations. So we have to avoid these things. So your manufacturing should include visuals. So ma'am, you can think brain is having two separate but complementary processing channels for learning information. One is for language and other is for visual images. So if your training material provide well-designed visuals, so if our training content is content with videos and many other images, so it will be efficient for the learners also. So it can also come in the effect. Be sure your training includes both audio and visuals. You can take advantage to training maximizer. This does not mean you have to do something super complex. So there is also a smart art Microsoft Office software program. Some ideas are below. So they need fancy graphic tools. Skills make useful images. So we can use in manufacturing training programs. So ma'am, these are the images. So ma'am, awaken prior knowledge beginning a training session. So when we start the training, so we have to start with the prior knowledge, what we have delivered in the previous class. So it can help the learners to connect with so we can ask questions to them, and what are their doubts. We can try to solve those problems at the time of training. Then we can move to the further course. Use metaphors, smiles, analogies, and other forms of comparison. It is easier to make sense of new information if it is presented in relation to stuff already know. Use figurative languages, including metaphors, smiles, and analogies. So these things we can use in the training, make more effective. Have employed practice, make decisions. Have employees practice. People are active learners. That means we are learn by doing. As a result, you should create training built-in chance for employees practice new skills, see the consequences of their, and receive supported and helpful feedback. All in an environment that is safe and protects them us from others from any negative results. In a real work, and hands-on training is a great way to do this. Scenario-based offline online training described in a video can help too. So ma'am, in their technical trainings we can see that there are scenario based training. Trainer can give perform practical tasks, so it can help the employees. They can easily learn that things, like Byju's and many great learning platforms are there. Use based practice. So if employees at your company needs because bad learners, they does not necessarily mean paying attention during training, which is probably a good thing or right. That's why training should be a once a year thing. So ma'am, we have to do once a year. Some companies can follow this practice year or quarterly basis. So the employees cannot forget the training. They can connect their training things, and which can help them to boost their production also. So ma'am, how employees think about their own learning. So ma'am, there is one thing, there is one word that is called metacognition. The process of thinking about what you are learning and how well you are learning about what is known as that is called as metacognition. There are a lot of people say about this topic, but just knowing that your employees are more likely to understand and remember manufacturing training, self-monitor their own learning during training will help. So ma'am, you can even provide notes. When we start provide, we can ask him.
Yeah, sorry, continue.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, when you can provide training to the employees, so pen and paper, we can give pen and paper to this, so they can write down what problems they are facing, but confusions they have, so they can write down on the pen and paper. So, delivering manufacturing general consideration for, as with all training, important to remember that manufacturing should be matched to the learning needs of the employees. So, while delivering learner-centric training means a lot of things, but one biggie is the set of adult learning principle we already mentioned. Be sure to put these to use during your training. Face-to-face trainers and effective training delivery. So we can provide face-to-face training in the classroom. Remember the creative and engaging experience for the learners. So the trainers can help them to solve their doubts, and so to train, make sure employee play an active role, ask them a question, see there are opportunities for them to lead discussions, have them break and put into a group, discuss on their own hands-on exercises. So that can be big advantage of the face-to-face trainer. Online and virtual manufacturing training delivery. As is face-to-face training, it is important for online and virtual training to be engaging and training interactive as well. Avoid passive, boring online training. Looking for practice test, interactivity, compelling visuals, short and crisp audio narrations, and scored assessment test also there. Mobile manufacturing training. So in the today's world, many people can use their training, watch there and do training on the mobile. So as a result, and there is no reason to think, as a result, it makes sense deliver training online to mobile devices, show below or demonstrated on this web page. So ma'am, these are the, we can use training methods on the mobile also. So the learners can access these things on the mobile. Mobile learning is also called M-learning, ma'am. when creating and evaluating mobile learning products. So it is very easy to learner, they can the access the training from the mobile if he or she has not attended the class, or maybe, so it is an easy way. Spaced practice, ma'am. As a result, trainer job to fight against the natural tendency that we all forget. Training must be specifically designed to combat the forgetting curve. So it is pretty much what it sound like: introducing employee to the training material, allowing them to practice their mastery at different positions, spaced throughout time. If you are familiar with the idea refresher training, the basic concepts are also there. Provide pre-training before the primary training. Introduce a training concept, several training time during the primary training. Reintroduce a training concept several times after the primary training, not immediately after, but a year has passed. Micro learning, an exciting new trend. So micro learning is generally a short burst, 1, 3 or 5 minutes video. Research has shown it's very effective. So we can access it on mobile devices, and it is a great tool for spaced practice. So ma'am, performance support is also there. So it is a great to train people, but sometimes it is better just to create the information that they need to perform their jobs. So ma'am, performance support is also there at the time of because as a trainer we can just give training, and but at the practical training, if they need, so we have to align trainers on the floor who can give them practical exposure. Ma'am, there is a one method in sport method is called 7-20 and 10. The idea behind 70-20-10, sometimes known as experience, exposure, and education, that is called 3 E's. That workers learn only a small amount. So ma'am, 70% of they know about direct job, on the job experience, 20% of what they know from their co-workers, the exposure, and 10% what they know about the formal job training. So that is the education. So ma'am, evaluating and manufacturing training program. So you can just deliver training and walk away. So ma'am, it is not just an effective way. So we have to evaluate the people, evaluate the learners. So it can make the training better. So this starts delivering training. But on the top, there is a well-known 4-level method for evaluating the effectiveness of training. For those of you know, well recognize the 4-level. Level 1 is employees' reaction to training. Smile sheets, we can take surveys and many things. There are different methods. Level 2 is test and other assessments after training. So we can take test after the training. So these are the images, ma'am. And few additional notes we can give to them if they need, if they require. They can need also, if they can get us free time, so they can use that notes. Observation on the on-job safe work practices. So if they are great, give them a recognition and support them to doing so. So we can give them a recognition also in the workplace also. Type of on-the-job behaviors, ma'am, that is recognize, remind, and investigate. Effect on key workplace metrics. So ma'am, knowing the business goals or metrics, so KPI is an important role in this key performance indicator. Learning how the business goals are tracked, getting a baseline pre-training measurement of these goals. And now that the training is over, you are going to measure those goals again. When the training is over, we can create a system for measuring over time to prove training was effective or not. Document manufacturing training. So when the training will complete all the evaluation we can document that all those trainings. What are our findings? And step 6 is continuous improvement of manufacturing training programs. Creating effective manufacturing is a process, never really ends. So manufacturing training is like a manufacturing becomes. So ma'am, there are some examples that should XYZ corporation consider using technology-based training such as e-learning or virtual reality. So, ma'am, virtual reality is one of the best ways. So it can help the learners. They can relate the scenarios with these things. So AR and VR is the best source. So, ma'am, if we can take the example of a AR VR in 2019 study VR, PricewaterhouseCoopers, which is called PwC India, found that when compared traditional training methods, so self-paced online learning and classroom education, VR simulation helped their employees to understand their job's performance and connect a bond with the content. So PwC has done a study on this. In addition to review
Very
article,
nice. So, see, this is the references I was talking about to Sushma.
yes,
Very
ma'am.
helpful. I think I can use your this presentation for next classes on training and development.
Yes, ma'am.
Very
So,
thoroughly done.
मैम अभी जैसे अभी बीआर एंड एआर का चल रहा है, तो अभी जैसे पीडब्ल्यूसी
बिल्कुल
इंडिया ने करा है, तो अभी कॉर्पोरेट सेक्टर्स में अभी कई कंपनी कॉग्निसेंट है जो अभी चल नहीं रहा है.
बहुत maximum people have started. Many new companies, startup companies have started giving trainings on VR AR.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, what specific topics or skills should be included in the training program to conduct product quality? So, ma'am, we have to first know about the roles and responsibilities depending on the learners. What are the learners' roles and responsibility? Training focus on different aspects, have different learning goals, bring different benefits to your business. So, product knowledge. So, ma'am, product knowledge is the basic thing. First, we have to knowledge about the product, building a positive brand. So, if we can compromise with the quality of the product, so we can lose the customers and our clients also. Quality control is the most important thing in the product. And third point is communication skills. So communication skills with customers, suppliers, and other stakeholders is also the very important thing. Problem solving skills, how we can deal with our customers and how we can deal with the challenges. Continuous improvement, encourage your team to continuously improve skills and knowledge. So, ma'am, we have give the training to them on latest trends and technologies, so he or she can ahead with the competition. How can XYZ Corporation ensure training up to date? Conducting a regular research. XYZ Corporation can conduct regular research to stay up to date with the latest industry trends and developments. Identifying the skills and knowledge are the most demand in the industry. So, ma'am, as we know, Chat GPT and AI. So we can conduct a regular research. जैसे मैं मेट्रो में था, दिल्ली मेट्रो में, तो वहां पे कई लोग बोले चैट जीपीटी एंड एआई एचआर में कोई स्कोप नहीं है, तो मैंने खुद उस पर रिसर्च करा कि क्या है, जरा मैं पढ़ूं एचआर के ऊपर ग्रेट लर्निंग के अंदर कि लोग क्यों कह रहे हैं कि एआई बेकार चीज है, तो पहले मैं उस पर रिसर्च करता हूँ. So collaborating with industry experts, XYZ Corporation can collaborate with industry experts. So we can collaborate with industry experts who can up to date with the markets, because sometimes internal trainers are not up to the date, so we can hire that external trainers or collaborators with the and collaborate them with our company. Incorporating feedback. So, ma'am, corporation, so we can, this can help the identify the area. Feedback can help us to know about the taste and preferences, what are the expectations of our vendors and suppliers regarding the our products. Leveraging technologies, engaging in interactive training contact. This will help us to keep us training program up to date. So leveraging learning means to we can update our employees to the about the new trends. So these are the following practices up to the date relevant to the industry, ma'am. So, ma'am, there is what factors should XYZ Corporation when deciding whether conduct training in-house through external providers? So, ma'am, cost is the most important thing in this. So cost is the most obvious reason for many companies. Utilizing staff available on the payroll can be more cost-effective option. New perspectives and expertise. Internal trainers may lack new perspectives and expertise that external trainers can bring to the table. Company specific or industry specific in-house training means know about your company and its need. Training will be your internal strategy, corporate goals, market positioning, and even branding also. So external trainers may have more experience in delivering industry specific training. sensitive topics and and relationships. In-house development, avoid sharing confidential data with an external company. You won't have to provide proprietary data outside training designers, courseware developers, educators. So cybersecurity protocols. It is important to consider whether the external provider training style or content and align with our company culture and values. So when we are calling external provider providing trainer, so we have to look out his or her content, that is this content match with our company values or cultures or not. So how can the company ensure that training is accessible and engaging for all employees? So use the right languages. Ensure that language used in the training content is simple and easy to understand. If your team is multi-language, consider translating content into their native languages. Make it inclusive. Inclusive training program eliminate any barriers, would prevent employees from reaching their full potential. It includes making sure that training content is accessible to everyone within your team. Opt for gamification. So as an gamification can make employees training more engaging and interactive, as an virtual reality, AR, augmented reality and virtual reality. It can help learners to retain information better. Use a common platform. All employees, even those located in different locations, can have interaction on one common platform, builds engagement on a wider scale. So, ma'am, there is another point. What key in performance indicators experts at corporation use to measure effectiveness of its training and development program? So, ma'am, training attendance rate. The KPI measure the numbers of employees attend the training session. It is simple metric that can track over time. Course completion rate. The KPI measure the percentage of employees who complete a course. It is an important metric to track. So, ma'am, have you seen there many companies, if you have not completed the automated mail generated, so this employee ID and employee candidate has not done his training. So that can be delivered from training and development team. Average time to completion. So what is the time, in how much time it will be complete? Post-training assessment results. The KPI measures how well employees have retained the information they learned during training. They help in identify areas about learner satisfaction rate. KPI measure how satisfied employees about the training program. It can help identify areas where improvements are made to increase employee engagement and participation. Learner retention rate. KPI measures how well employees retain information after training. It can help identify areas where additional support follow-up training may be needed. Job performance impact. The KPI measures how well training has impacted employee job training. It helps identify areas where additional training support is needed. Training ROI. The KPI measures the return on investment. The training programs by comparing the cost of the program to its benefits. So how often should use this KPI be monitored, and that what action should be taken based on the results? So, ma'am, key performance indicators are used to periodically track and evaluate the performance of business organization towards the achievement of specific goals. So that is the frequent of monitoring KPI depends on the goals and objectives of the organization. Monthly goal, and it can be on weekly basis. However, measuring KPI too frequently may result in an appropriate location also. So, ma'am, the action should be taken based on the result of KPI, depend on KPI being monitored goals of the organization. So KPI can help then what are the root cause, to identify the root cause, and what are the corrective actions we can take. On the other hand, KPI exceeding the target, it's maybe an opportunity to optimize or expand the area of business. So, ma'am, how can XYZ Corporation incorporate development into its training program, boost morale and reduce turnover? So, ma'am, identifying the skill and knowledge gaps. Conduct through assessment, current skill of set of employees, identify areas that need improvement. Survey, feedback, and training sessions, performance reviews are there. Create a training plan based on identified gaps, but both technical and soft skills training. should be tailored to meet specific needs of that employee. Provide regular feedback that will help to stay motivated and engaged in the training process. Encourage peer learning. Encourage employees to learn from each other, creating opportunities for peer learning. This can be done through mentorship programs, cross-functional areas, or knowledge sharing sessions. Reward and recognition. Employees who show progress in development journey, they can done through promotion, bonuses. So we can give after the training, we can recognize them and reward them. We can give a certificates to them after the training completion. What strategies can the company use to identify high potential employee and offer the targeted in development opportunities? So major key performance indicators, use hard assessment data, performance reviews, surveys, other feedback to measure. Set criteria for promotion. So define exactly behaviors, achievement, keep you equate the high potential. Assessment opportunities, use assessment opportunities, career conversations, and talent reviews to support developing and identifying high potential employees. Give them tools to find their strengths and weakness. Provide employees with tools to find their strengths and weakness. Connect them with the mentor. Connect with high potential employees with the mentor who can help them and guide their in their career development. It is also important to increase diversity and talent pipeline so the future leaders can be representative and increase diverse workforce. Employers must fully committed to having a pipeline diverse talent. Less than half of the organization plan leadership pipeline next 1 or 2 years. What factors should be considered when calculating the cost of? So when there are two main factors for calculating: the preparations of the trainers, the participants' travel cost and traveling time of the training, the time necessary for the participants' active involvement during the training, travel cost of the trainer, potential temperature agreements, participants and the trainer, training space, materials and refreshments. How can XYZ Corporation estimate the return ROI? So set clear training objectives, define specific and measurable objectives for the training programs, gather training data, collect relevant data before and after the training. This include both quantitative and qualitative information. Pre-training performance metrics, post-training performance metric, employee feedback, financial data related to the training, cost and monetary gains. Calculate monetary benefits, determine the monetary gains, include reduced errors, enhanced. Calculate cost with the training program, direct cost, trainer fees, indirected, such as employee time spent on the training. Calculate ROI, dividing the monetary benefits by total cost of the program. In addition, ROI, other benefits, training, improved employee morale, increased engagement, enhanced teamwork, and reduced turnover. While the benefits might not have direct monetary value, they contribute to overall success of the training program. So, how can XYZ Corporation address potential resistance from employees? So, resistance to change is normal and expected, but it can be, according to Prosky, resistance to change that cause various factors such as impact on work, credibility of people, communicating the change, personal factors. There are many other factors. Prosky suggests that inspirational leadership can create culture that makes overcoming resistance, change an integral part, and change management, not a separate corporate function. Corporate culture and change management. Prime Minister suggests that even strategies for overcoming resistant change in the workplace. So the strategies include creating urgency, building a coalition support, creating a vision for change, and empowering others to act off the vision, and consolidating gains and producing more change. So and there is what communication strategies can be used to build enthusiasm, buy-in other programs. Identifying what motivates stakeholders. Identifying what motivates each stakeholders can help large share of the stakeholder buy-in project, and keep being able to establish higher degree buy-in, establishing link between project and company goals, shareholder values and motivation. Focus on telling the truth. Building a culture trust is a vital role in this. So get serious about impact of this issue. It can have the power to ruin the projects quickly if the trust is not there. If you can break the trust of our stakeholders, Provide clear communication. Clear communication is essential for building enthusiasm by it in for a program. It is important to keep stakeholders informed about the progress of the program and changes that are made, how their contributions are making a difference. Seek feedback. Seeking feedback from stakeholders can help you to identify areas need to improve your communication strategy, have to input and committed to making the program success. Establishing mutual trust with stakeholders is essential to building enthusiasm and buy-in for a programs. Being transparent about your intentions and following through on your commitments. Motivate stakeholders can help build enthusiasm and buy-in for a program. They can done by recognizing their contributors, providing incentives or offering opportunities for professional development. So ma'am, last slide is thank you. So ma'am, it is very lengthy slide. So thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah, but it's a good research, right? It is for yourself also. It's a great learning,
यस मैम, इतना मतलब
incorporating
फास्ट
so
में
much of
जान लिया।
material.
यस मैम, इतना फास्ट में जानने को मिला, मतलब इतना एमबीए एचआर में ट्रेनिंग एंड डेवलपमेंट सब्जेक्ट में नहीं, जितना अब इतना रिसर्च केस स्टडी में मिल गया है।
Bilkul, bilkul, absolutely. So this is, see, that is why these case studies are so important.
यस
है ना,
मैम।
स्पेशली सच कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव केस स्टडी जो आपको पूरा एक लुकआउट दे दे। इसमें से बस एक चीज थोड़ा सा जो बहुत ज्यादा ओवर हो गया है, व्हेन वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेटअप, स्पेसिफिक जो केस स्टडी था हमारा कॉर्पोरेट को लेकर एंड स्पेसिफिक प्रॉब्लम्स जो उसमें थे। सो द क्वेश्चंस दैट यू आर आंसरिंग, डोंट आंसर इन जेनरिक, इट इज फॉर बोथ यू एंड सुषमा, क्योंकि आपने क्या किया, जेनरिक में सारे क्वेश्चंस का आंसर दे दिया है, दैट ट्रेनिंग एनालिसिस वुड बी दिस, ये उसका पूरा मेथड है। फाइन, वी अंडरस्टैंड दैट ट्रेनिंग एनालिसिस का ये मेथड है, ये चीजें हैं, बट फॉर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इंडस्ट्री दिस कंपनी, आप कैसे ट्रेनिंग नीड एनालिसिस करोगे? हमें क्योंकि हर कंपनी में अलग अलग मेथड्स इस्तेमाल करने पड़ते हैं, यू कैन नॉट यूज एवरीथिंग ऑन इट्स ओन। So that solution has to come from you guys now. Explaining the chapter versus, I mean, जितना content है versus what is specifically required for the case study, उसमें थोड़ा difference होना चाहिए. And why I'm saying that, because अब now at the end of the session we will do another presentation. वो presentation क्या है, topic क्या है उसका, कि as an HR manager how will you start a complete HR department in an organization. अब इमेजिन अगर वो पूरा आपने एक ट्रेनिंग एंड डेवलपमेंट के लिए 1 घंटा लिया है, तो एचआर पूरा बताने के लिए आप 5-6 घंटे ले लोगे, एंड द प्रेजेंटर हैज नॉट डू नॉट हैव दैट मच ऑफ टाइम, राइट? द वाइवा विल नॉट हैव। सो उसको कॉम्प्रिहेंसिवली 15-20 मिनट में आप कैसे अपने आप को वाइंड अप करोगे, दैट इज ऑल्सो एन आर्ट of
Yes.
presentation that has to be learned. But otherwise I love the context, I mean I really enjoyed this presentation. थोड़ा और टाइम होता तो हम कुछ चीजों पे डिस्कस भी कर सकते थे. So it's very well done. मुझे जरूर भेजना है केस स्टडी. I'll try and use this case study or this PPT from now onwards for the classes. It would
Yes.
be really helpful. It's very good. Done.
So ma'am, I can share in this group PPT in this group.
या ग्रुप में बहुत लंबा हो जाएगा, आई थिंक ईमेल पर कर देना, ईमेल पर जिप में आएगी.
यस मैम।
बहुत बड़ी केस स्टडी, आई एम नॉट श्योर कि उस पे जाएगी या नहीं.
मैम ये पिछला असाइनमेंट था मेरा मैम, आपने जो दिया था जॉब के
फाइनेंस
ऊपर।
मैनेजर, राइट.
मैम ये ठीक है मैम, बिल्कुल।
वी आर हायरिंग फाइनेंस मैनेजर, सेंड योर सीवी. थोड़ा सा 1-2 लाइनें और फाइनेंस मैनेजर के बारे में, जिसका क्वालिफिकेशन आपने जैसे लिख दिया, बाकी सब लिख दिया कि फाइनेंस मैनेजर करेगा क्या.
यस
सो
मैम।
लाइक रिकंसिलिएशन, टैक्सेशन नॉलेज, थोड़ा बहुत 4-5 लाइन है ना, सो दैट पीपल आर अवेयर. इसी के अंदर आ जाएगा इजीली.
मैम ये
क्वालिफिकेशन से ऊपर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. हाँ, 5 years एक्सपीरियंस इन अकाउंटिंग फील्ड इज फाइन, बट हर कंपनी के अंदर रिक्वायरमेंट अलग होती है फाइनेंस मैनेजर की. कई लोगों को सिर्फ टैक्सेशन के लिए चाहिए, कई लोगों को सिर्फ बैंक रिकंसिलिएशन या डेली अकाउंटिंग के लिए चाहिए, कई लोगों को हो सकता है इन्वेस्टमेंट और कैश फंड्स के लिए चाहिए हो. सो रोल फाइनेंस मैनेजर का डिफर करता है हर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, है ना. सो हमारी जो रिक्वायरमेंट्स है, वी शुड जस्ट मेंशन 3-4 लाइंस
यस मैम।
फॉर दैट. अदरवाइज इट्स वेरी नाइस, वेरी नाइसली क्रिएटेड ऑल्सो.
Yes.
कैनवा में बनाया.
यस मैम, कैनवा।
Very nice. Good. Great. So good job done. Very well done today.
थैंक यू मैम।
So now last असाइनमेंट कल शायद क्लास नहीं होगी क्योंकि सर की वाइफ अभी स्टिल हॉस्पिटल से आज डिस्चार्ज हुई है. So sir Hardik sir will take class either on a Tuesday or Wednesday. He will let you know.
Okay, ma'am.
ठीक है. From my side, all the topics are over. अब जो भी बचा है आपके कोर्स कंटेंट में, just go through it. I'm just letting both of you at least because you both are quite regular in classes. Just go through the complete syllabus and let us know what is left. जो भी सर के 2-3 टॉपिक है एचआर एनालिटिक्स एंड वो सब पूरा करेंगे सर. But other than that, just go through it, create a list, share it with me, and then I will give last 2 classes on that. We will try and club all of it and clear your doubts.
Yes.
Right? Because एग्जाम आ रहा है, एग्जाम फॉर एक्सटर्नल हमेशा क्या होता है कि एक्सटर्नल के आगे हम जरूरी है अपना अच्छा इंप्रेशन बनाए for the students quality and everything. So we should be very clear about the syllabus that we have.
Yes.
Sushma, you are there? एक प्रॉक्सी में अटेंड कर रही हूँ. अच्छा,
No,
she's
I am.
here. Good. So last assignment for both of you, right? I told you कि एक on the job मैं आप लोगों को job दूंगी full करने के लिए. So just write down if you want to. This job is very, very important for one of our clients, right? We are looking for a creative content director. So the job title can be creative content director या creative director भी कह सकते हैं. Qualification should be mass communication, either bachelor's or postgraduate, whatever. Then vast experience in media and advertising company.
Some experience.
In media and advertising company. एडवर्टाइजिंग कंपनीज होती हैं जैसे ये है हाकू हुडू हो गया, जो एजेंसीज होती हैं जो एडवर्टीजमेंट्स क्रिएट करती हैं टीवी
Yes.
के लिए या सोशल मीडिया के लिए, उन कंपनीज से. अब इनका रोल क्या होगा? somebody who can design visuals. खुद को ग्राफिक डिजाइनिंग की नॉलेज होना जरूरी है. खुद चाहे डिजाइन करेंगे नहीं बैठकर, बट दे विल इंश्योर कि ग्राफिक डिजाइनर्स किस तरीके से काम करें. सो कॉन्सेप्चुअलाइजेशन इज वन स्किल रिक्वायर्ड. conceptualization of designs, visualization of how the brief would look like, फिर knowledge of social media content, किस तरीके का कंटेंट सोशल मीडिया पे जाएगा. बिकॉज इंस्टाग्राम पे आप जैसे आजकल देख रहे हैं कि 5 सेकंड 10 सेकंड की रील्स, पहले 1 मिनट की आती थी, 30 सेकंड की आती थी. हमारा जैसा जैसा अटेंशन स्पैन कम होता जा रहा है, आगे आने वाले टाइम में माइक्रो कंटेंट होता जाएगा. तो उसके हिसाब से वी आर हायरिंग दिस गाय. somebody who understands content for social media, have knowledge of micro content creation, फिर experience in creating campaigns and strategies, and one last point maybe we can write experience in providing brand solutions. या brand strategies and solutions ऐसा कर सकते हैं. minimum experience required 5 years. 5 years minimum. सैलरी हम मेंशन नहीं करना जहां पर भी आप ये ढूंढना शुरू करोगे, बट सैलरी हम जस्ट लेटिंग बोथ ऑफ यू नो कि 20-24 लाख तक जा सकती है पर एनम। ठीक है, हाउ एक्टिव आर यू गाइज ऑन लिंक्डइन? अंजन, सुषमा?
मेरा तो अभी एक्टिव प्रोफाइल है ही नहीं लिंक्डइन पे, मैं अभी
फिर कैसे
बनाऊंगा।
करोगे? सुषमा, तुम्हारा कितना एक्टिव?
I can tell I'm a bit active.
सॉरी?
Little bit active in LinkedIn. Compared to other social media, I'm a little bit active.
Okay. Get active on LinkedIn, guys, because LinkedIn, Anjan, is very, very important
Yes, ma'am.
for you. आगे कोई भी चीज करनी है, ऐसे अगर अपना बिजनेस भी स्टार्ट करना है या जॉब भी करनी है, so that networking is very important, very
Yes,
important. You need to at least post anything on LinkedIn related to HR, your job, और छोटा मोटा हेल्प ले सकते हो चैट जीपीटी से, कुछ कोट्स निकाल लिए HR के बारे में, ओरिजिनल वो डाल दिया, कुछ भी करके उन पे अपना कुछ कवरेज डाल दिया। बिकॉज जब आप जॉब में आओगे ऑनलाइन फुल टाइम जॉब्स के अंदर, सो लिंक्डइन वुड बी अ वेरी essential tool, not just for hiring but also for proactive bringing talent pool into the organization,
yes,
right? And if you guys are able to hire this position, so there will be a cash prize also for you अगर आपका कैंडिडेट सेलेक्ट हो जाता है। ठीक है,
तो मैम ये कॉल्ड कॉलिंग के थ्रू कर सकते हैं हम किसी को भी?
कॉलिंग के थ्रू? पहले सीरियस तो होंगे, कैसे करोगे कॉल?
यस मैम, वही तो मैं कह रहा हूँ ना कि पहले हमें अपने फ्रेंड सर्कल में कांटेक्ट करके करना पड़ेगा ना ये सब।
नहीं, इसको लिंक्डइन पे आप जॉब पोस्ट करके डाल सकते हो या किसी सोशल मीडिया पे, फेसबुक पे डाल सकते हो जॉब पोस्टिंग बनाकर, अगर आपका लिंक्डइन एक्टिव नहीं है। सो वहां से रिज्यूमेज आएंगे, आप उनसे बात कर सकते हैं, यू कैन एक्सप्लेन देम अबाउट द कंपनी,
ठीक है मैम।
है ना? देन
यस।
बट द टाइमलाइन इज जस्ट 4 days। आज
ओके।
से 14 में स्टार्ट हो रहा है, 18 तक हमें खत्म करेंगे।
ठीक है मैम।
And can you do me a favor, please?
प्लीज टेल मी।
Ma'am, I'm asking Anjan. If you have written down what ma'am said, please can you send me the screenshot in WhatsApp?
यस, आई विल शेयर।
Yeah, thank you.
Great. Just do that. And if you want to tag me, Sushma, on LinkedIn, you can do that. I'm not sure we are following each other on LinkedIn, right? हम अभी इंस्टा पे ही करेंगे। You
Yeah,
can send
link.
LinkedIn request as well. No, I'll add you guys.
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
And any questions you need to ask about this particular assignment, please feel free to ask anytime. No worries. So tomorrow there won't be any class. Sir will let you know either Tuesday or Wednesday whenever he's able to take the class. By the time you finish this assignment, and just make sure कि आप लोग पूरा content एक बार देख लें, पूरा course, and let us know what you want to learn more, so that
Ma'am, where
जितना भी हमारे पास टाइम है हम उतना complete कर सकें। End of October तक का टाइम है। First week of November is your exam. 5th November is the exam.
ma'am, where is the syllabus given, ma'am? I don't have that access to the course
सर
syllabus.
ने नहीं भेजा है कभी भी?
No, it's not there.
अच्छा, मैं ग्रुप में भिजवा देती हूँ। लेट मी जस्ट सर्च, मेरे पास अगर फोन में होगा तो आई जस्ट सेंड इट राइट अवे, नहीं तो मैं भी सर से लेकर आई जस्ट पोस्ट इट।
मैम 5th November will be the exam.
5th November morning 11 to 1 will be the exam. As I told you last week, it will be an external trainer, external member. जनरली हम किसी कंपनी के CHRO को बुलाते हैं, किसी कंपनी के डिवीजन हेड को बुलाते हैं।
Yes ma'am.
So they will take your viva on your presentation that you will present.
Yes ma'am.
They can ask you questions on anything on HR that we have covered. Generally मैं बुलाती हूँ उनको, तो मैं शेयर कर देती हूँ कि हमने क्या क्या पढ़ाया है टॉपिक्स। So they'll ask you that, and then they will give you numbers.
Yes
मैं
ma'am.
और हार्दिक सर भी नंबर देंगे, then he will also give his numbers.
Yes ma'am.
Ma'am,
So
will
just
we
go
be
through.
to make presentation on that day or something like that?
Sorry?
On the exam day, will we be asked to make presentations and share Is there
No,
something
no,
like
you
that?
you can start creating your presentation right away. The topic is how, as an HR manager, you can start a new department, HR department. So what all you will do? So it will cover all your topics, right? अगर आप एक नया HR डिपार्टमेंट स्टार्ट करते हो जहाँ कंपनी में नहीं है, तो आप सब कुछ करोगे, राइट? उसके लिए
Ma'am, when should we submit this presentation?
you don't have to submit it, you just have to present it on 5th of November to everyone.
Okay, we have
Yeah.
to prepare it beforehand. Got it.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
We have to prepare it beforehand and submit it on the exam day, right?
Yes, you have to present it on the exam day. All the questions will be asked that day. In case आप उससे पहले किसी फैकल्टी को दिखाना चाहते हो मुझे या हार्दिक सर को कि देख लीजिए ठीक लग रही है प्रेजेंटेशन, we can do that much for you.
मैम इसमें एचआर जो प्रेजेंटेशन वाली इसमें सारे टॉपिक्स कवर करने हैं, आईआर, टीएनडी, ट्रेंड एंड एक्विजिशन, हर चीज में कवर कर दें।
बिल्कुल करना पड़ेगा ना, अगर आप किसी कंपनी का एचआर बना रहे हो, नया डिपार्टमेंट स्टार्ट करोगे तो आपको सब कुछ करना पड़ेगा फ्रॉम स्क्रैच।
ठीक है।
सपोज एक स्टार्टअप कंपनी है, मान लेते हैं जैसे अभी हम XYZ की मैन्युफैक्चरिंग की बात कर रहे हैं, कोई भी कंपनी मान लेते हैं किसी भी इंडस्ट्री में, कोई नया स्टार्टअप है, उन्होंने आप अंजन को आपको हायर किया कि आप हमारा HR हेड बन जाओ, राइट? बट वी डू नॉट हैव एनीथिंग इन HR, ना हमारे पास डॉक्यूमेंट्स है, ना फॉर्मेट्स है, ना फॉर्म्स है, ना ही पॉलिसीज है, ना प्रोसेसेस हैं। सो वो आप कैसे स्टार्ट करोगे? सो यू जस्ट हैव टू एक्सप्लेन दैट फंक्शन वाइज।
यस मैम।
सो स्टार्ट मेकिंग दैट प्रेजेंटेशन एंड उससे क्या फायदा हो जाएगा कि बाय द टाइम विल रीच 5th ऑफ नवंबर यू विल बी एबल टू नो कि हमारे से क्या मिस हुआ है ना, हमें क्या समझ नहीं आया, कौन सा टॉपिक हम और डिटेल्स में पढ़ सकते हैं। वी विल प्रिपेयर, विल लेट यू नो कि जब भी आप बता दोगे। सो लास्ट के 2 days हमने इसीलिए रखे, लास्ट की 2 classes फॉर डाउट क्लियर सेशन।
यस मैम।
ठीक है, I'll announce it in the group also. आजकल में ना कल कर देंगे announce.
यस।
All right. See you then next week. No, not next week. Maybe class now will happen end of the October. Take care. Bye bye. Yeah, you can ask any questions on the group or otherwise also.
यस मैम।
Thank you so much. Bye bye.